Black Samurai.
Hello, I will try to be as brief and concise as I can while doing this video. Also, I will be speaking my mind and I will be giving you guys a plethora of different sources and or information, just personal things that I think you should all know. For starters, there was someone that commented on one of my videos. In that video, he asked, why don't you do Afro Samurai for your next character? Well, in all honesty, I had no intentions of doing him as my next project. My next project was actually Taki. I want to experiment with doing jiggle physics, boob movement, body movement. It's an area that I'm not familiar with, and I've always wanted to make a sexy female character. With that being said, the purpose of this video is to basically fill you in that not only am I adept with whatever I'm doing, but I also follow my source to a T. For instance, this Afro Samurai is not my next character, correct? But to hold you over, especially if you're one of my subscribers and you're just curious as to what he would look like if I were to go in depth and start him as my next project. Well, for instance, I am aware that Afro Samurai is originally created by Takashi Okazaki. Well, I've been following Afro Samurai since the first movie. I've seen the first movie roughly 15 times, and I've seen part 2, I believe 3 times so far, which is it's like Afro Samurai Resurrection or something like that. Long story short, I am very familiar with those movies. Those basically pushed Afro Samurai somewhat to the mainstream, made him very popular. He was voiced by Samuel L. Jackson, etc., etc. I got it. Well, what most people don't know is that Afro Samurai originally started from artwork from Takashi. Takashi was actually a manga artist. He originally created Afro Samurai to be very bright, very colorful. His ink work was, I give him an A+ for it. But the one thing I want you guys to understand, that I understand about his work, is that his main source of art was overall his palette. He had a very powerful, very bright color choice, and that's something I think was mostly missed in the first movie. Aside from that, I'll just go ahead and show you guys what I would do personally if I were to start my Afro Samurai character. First and foremost, I do what I always do. I find a reference picture. Now the thing with my reference picture, it would be one picture that I think would perfectly encapsulate everything about Afro Samurai, and it would be something that I think is very important. It would have to be this. I think this image is gorgeous. It has all the tools and all the assets that I need, which is mainly cross-hatching in the ink work, heavy usage of gradients, and the palette is somewhat correct. If I were to change this, the first and foremost thing that I would change is everything that appears chrome or not so much the color of gold. I would change it to a very bright, very deep golden color. I would also remove all the dirt and the blood stains from his clothing. I would change the color of his pants. I would make a very bright, probably blue. I almost said purple. I know purple is a very prominent color too. Second, probably his fro. I make his fro bigger. It would flow more. It'd be a lot thicker. It'd have more of an anime aesthetic to it. I give it a texture. And well, most importantly, I color it green. Well, Takashi, in all of his books and all of his artwork, he would always make that fro a tint of green. That was always his staple and the thing that stood out with Afro. So, gold jewelry, brighter clothes, a giant green fro, and I guess I'd pay homage to the anime or the movies, and I'd make this cloth, it would flow more. I'd make it a little longer, and I'd make it like sway around his body a little more. I'd research very heavily, but just keep in mind this would be my template. Of all of this stuff that I said, the only thing that I want you guys to take away is that this will most definitely be the base image for my sprite. Meaning I would mimic this sprite, and if you've seen any of my previous work, you know I'm more than capable of perfectly drawing this sprite over again. Or rather this image over again. Is that everything? Yeah, I remove all the blood, all the dirt, redo the colors, lengthen the headband, change his hair. That's basically all I would do, you guys. So this video has been for the guy who left that comment. Afro Samurai is not my next character, but for the people who are curious as to what he would look like in my art style, he'd look like this. You guys keep in mind these YouTube videos are just public shit for you guys. I have a ton of private things that are in the works, project wise. I have roughly 3 to 4 other characters that I've been working on in secrecy that I haven't shared with you all. Just, I don't know, if this YouTube thing blows up, I get those somehow. If I get like 10,000 subs or views or however that shit works, and I understand that you guys actually give a shit about this M.U.G.E.N stuff, I'll share more with you. But for the dude who was brave enough to leave that comment, yeah, man, it's a good idea for me to do Afro as my next character, but I really want to do Taki. I'll keep what you said in my mind, and I may, because of my short attention span, drift over and do Afro 2 on the side. But yeah, there you guys go. That's what my Afro would look like. And don't get confused. This isn't a fucking some DeviantArt image. This is an actual sprite that I made from scratch. That's all, guys. Take it easy.